Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal the International, and we begin with our top stories. In Akilimongwe village in Mfou and Afamba division central region of Cameroon, where a stepfather is said to have roasted a girlfriend's 3-year-old child to death after the scary incident. The mother, on threats of the new lover, went and quietly left the sick child in front of the father's house. To tell you more in this edition of Newscast. And I presume a scammer who attempted to dupe the ambassador of the Democratic Republic of Congo to Cameroon has been arrested by elements of the national security. The notorious ex-convict who impersonates top personalities was cracked down in Douala after a search by forces of law and order. And the mayor of Andek, Ngi Division, a northwest region of Cameroon, has issued a stern warning to individuals and organizations attempting to interfere with the management of health institutions. He sent out the warnings as a means to safeguard healthcare delivery in Ngi subdivision. This and more in this edition of Newscast. Good evening once more and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal the International. We begin in a village called Ikilimongwe in Mfou and Afamba division, central region of Cameroon, where a stepfather is said to have roasted the girlfriend's 3-year-old baby to death. After the scary incident, the mother, on threats of the new lover, went and quietly left the sick child in front of the father's house. More in the full story with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
Brenda attests when she came with her 2 children from the first marriage at the Kilimokwe village, Mfou and Afamba division of the central region. Fabrice was a loving and caring father and husband. Things started changing. He beats the children on little issues. He did it consciously because he doesn't want my children to be with me. That fateful day, he was with the children in the sitting room around the charcoal fire, and the worst happened. 3-year-old Manuela was roasted face and fingers.
I was thinking of something when the child fell. When the brother started crying, that I recovered.
The answer is due to the corn and not pudding known as a kumba that was on fire. Rushing the baby to hospital, and after a while, when the baby she's carrying also fell sick, the lover threatened she returned to the father. If I don't go leave child, I myself will die. She collaborated, abandoned child in front of the father's door.
She assisted in packing the child and leaving him in front of his room.
The father, Arnaud, then reported matter at the Mfou Territorial Gendarme Brigade. That was last February 16, accusing wife and stepfather of consciously roasting a 3-year-old child.
Aggravated neglect of an incapable person, serious wound and murder attempt.
While the lover disappeared, she was arrested and she acknowledged her fault. I passed here in front of the Territorial Gendarme and went and left child at the father's place. I accept. After 6 months of investigation, the gendarmes finally succeeded to arrest the partner. Both are to face the law.
As you heard in that story, the child did not die, but is battling between life and death in a hospital. I presume a scammer who attempted to dupe the ambassador of the Democratic Republic of Congo to Cameroon has been arrested by elements of the national security. The notorious ex-convict was impersonates top personalities was cracked down in Douala after a search by forces of law and order. More on the story with our reporter, Chair.
He presented himself as Felix Mbayu, the Minister Delegate to the Minister of External Relations in charge of cooperations with the Commonwealth. calling the ambassador of the Democratic Republic of Congo in Cameroon to send a colleague to pick up an urgent letter in his office. And in an attempt to get there, the supposed scammer started manipulation on phone, demanding a 40,000 francs CFA deposit for communication credit to be refunded while in office. The diplomat now realizes that the personality is fake and reports immediately to the minister, who in return informs the Delegate General for National Security, who orders for the search of the culprits.
We started our investigation by localizing the person. We realized that we know the suspect in our file and in our previous file. We know the person. And then after that, we went to Douala and we arrested Mr. Abesulu. And he recognized the fact.
And presenting the presumed scammer to the public, this Monday, August 19 in Yaoundé, police authorities reiterate that he has been arrested several times but quickly released. There is therefore need to review the legal dispositions.
What I suggest is to modify the legislation because you see we have arrested Mr. Abesulu 3 times. He has been sent to prison, but after 4 months he has been released. But it's not the problem of the magistrate, but it's the problem of the legislation.
He will be referred to the Ndokoti Court of First Instance in Douala to answer for his crimes.
And the mayor of Andek in the subdivision northwest region of Cameroon has sent out a stern warning to individuals and organizations attempting to interfere with the management of health institutions in that part of the country. He sent out the warnings, a means to safeguard healthcare delivery in the subdivision. More with our reporter, Saleh Sherifa, Annie Collins Annie.
The mayor of Andek municipality in Momo division of the Northwest region has frowned at individuals and development organizations who may want to interfere with the running of health institutions in Gay subdivision. Mayor Obango Heli cleared the air recently in Andek while distributing items to all the 8 health centers of the municipality.
Now, mayor for Andek council is run all health centers for municipality. I want to use this opportunity to thank the Minister of Health for the continuous support he has been given to Andek municipality for the advancement of the health condition of my people.
Acting within the ambit of the ongoing decentralization process, where health is one of the areas government is handing over powers to decentralized local collectivities, the Chief Municipal Executive has called on the competent authorities to call to book all absentee health workers or replace them for the health of the local population.
We are not happy with the abandonment of health centers by the various chiefs of health centers. And we are thinking that the government should take some urgent measures to either relieve them or terminate them, since most of them are busy doing private businesses in environmental.
For proper and accountable use of the health equipment, management board chairpersons were encouraged to begin by making good inventories so as to hand over same to subsequent members.
Most public and private buildings in Cameroon's economic hub of Douala are in a state of disrepair from poor maintenance to deteriorating paints. These structures hinder the development of the urban landscape. More in the following story. Walls covered in green and peeling paint are characteristic of public buildings in the city of Douala. Name lies with those responsible for their upkeep.
Looking at the state of public buildings in Cameroon, I don't know if the government takes into consideration their maintenance, given the budget allocated each year for the purpose. I don't know if the people in charge of these buildings do their jobs using this budget. For social housing and private buildings, it is not the case because the private sector maintains its buildings.
Pour les logements sociaux, n'en parlons même plus. Pour les bâtiments privés, tel n'est pas le cas.
Experts agree, attributing the poor condition of the walls of the budgets allocated for maintenance.
Bâtiments publics se dégradent parce que
public buildings deteriorate because the means are not used appropriately. Before money gets to the technician, it has already been mopped up. The little that gets to the technician, he's hungry. He just tries to freshen up the structure because he can no longer do any field work. In the private sector, it is because the private puts the funds for the work.
met de l'argent pour ces travaux.
But also poses safety risk to the inhabitants. As the debate over responsibility and solutions continues, the residents of Douala hope for a proactive approach to maintain and preserve their city's infrastructure. And driving on the section of the road that connects the Music Crossroads to the edge of Bikoko, we are on the east west entrance to Douala. Numerous potholes and the degraded road surface cause harm to users. However, one of solution is emerging, as we hear from our reporter, Lato Cynthia.
A motorcycle stuck in the mud. The driver and some local residents struggle to get out. Pedestrians, flood drain, a scene that sums up the ordeal of road users here. Potholes slow down the movement of vehicles, which at every passage suffer hits. Too many potholes, all vehicles getting hit to drive slowly, and this used to create a lot of traffic. It is the first time the ordeal gradually fades away as trucks multiply rotations on the sides to pour laterite. Heavy machinery, tractors, compactors and graders are activated to ensure that circulation is restored on the targeted half-kilometer. On this road, there is permanent traffic. Rehabilitating the road, we intend to use laterite, and we believe it will permit smooth circulation on this section. Local residents and users appreciate the rehabilitation idea, lauding it for being an initiative from the private sector. Initiative taken in the absence of goodwill is military acts for the population. The humanitarian work for population that offering so much on. Once the work is completed, an improved circulation of vehicles will be possible in Bonaberi at Music Crossroads. And the prefectural order signed August 13, 2024 by the Wouri's senior divisional officer has stirred public reactions. The ban on motorcycle circulation from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in Bali, Bonaprizo and other areas in Cameroon's economic hub, Douala, has generated both approval and discontent among passengers and drivers alike. More in the following story. The recently enacted ban on motorcycle taxis operating within 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. in Bali and Bonaprizo neighborhoods has sparked significant debate. The measure intended to restore a sense of security has been met with mixed reactions from those who frequent these neighborhoods. It is painful for some people to not have vehicles. When they stand and wait and there is no motorcycles, they can be attacked. Some residents welcome the decree, citing personal safety concerns. Grace, who was assaulted while riding a motorcycle taxi a few months ago, finds the new regulation reassuring. I was on a motorbike going home late in the night when suddenly I saw two guys behind me on a bike. I panicked because sometimes they can take you on a bike and say they want to carry another person behind you. And at one point on the way, they tell you, Madam, give me your belongings.
However, motorcycle taxi drivers are vocal in their criticism, describing the ban as an abuse of power. They argue that the measure unfairly impacts their livelihood and restricts their ability to operate.
There are documents they request from us to circulate in Douala, and when we buy these documents and we are prohibited from circulating in some areas, what does it mean? It is not only commercial bike riders. Many things happen and only commercial bike riders are accused.
Others, meanwhile, are not surprised by the precautionary measure, considering it is a necessary step towards improving public safety.
I am not bothered because since the beginning we had been prohibited from circulating in Bali, and I respected it.
It is worth noting that the exit of Wouri's ban took effect on August 13. A similar measure was previously implemented by the governor of the Littoral region in 2022. Same measures apply in the Dido neighborhood, but still not respected by the population. In response to a series of deadly road accidents in Cameroon, the Minister of Transport has issued several decisive measures this month. The August 19, 2024 begin with Bafoussam Banjun road accident. Here, an accident resulted in 113 injuries. The transport license of Ferdinand Tala has been revoked for operating illegally as a road transporter. Additionally, Tala faces a fine of 5 million francs CFA payable to the public treasury. Akodolinga Yaoundé road accident, a crash involving Charter Express led to 6 deaths and 20 injuries. The driving permits of the involved drivers have been suspended for 1 year. Furthermore, Charter Express Agency faces a 15-day provisionary suspension. Thirdly, Ngwapi incident, multiple vehicles were involved in a collision that resulted in 2 deaths and 19 injuries. Ephraim Ekumda, the bus driver for Fines Voyage, has had his driving permit suspended for 4 months. Additionally, the public transport licenses of the 3rd category granted to Mrs. Yang, a wife of Yuan Yingwen, has been suspended for 3 months. Equally, we'll bring you details in a subsequent editions of Newscast. And in a bid to simplify town planning procedures and structural constructions in Cameroon's economic hub, Douala, 17 persons have been sworn in as one-stop agents in Douala, commuting to save the population and facilitate administrative document delivery. More with our reporter, Saleh Sharifa.
The urban planning landscape in Douala set to undergo a significant transformation with the swearing in of persons as one-stop shop agents at the Wouri High Court on August 19, 2024. These agents will work in synergy with the Douala City Council, Land Register Services and other stakeholders to streamline town planning procedures and ensure better structuring of construction in the city. Strong messages were prescribed to them on their duty, and all I can say is to wish them well in what they will be doing. Their role will be to simplify the delivery of administration documents, observe and inform on town planning procedures, and contribute to the management of land conflicts in Douala. By doing so, they aim to transform Douala into an economic metropolis that meets modern urbanization requirements. This engagement reflects on the orientations given to us on working with the population, sensitize them on avoiding previous catastrophe that occurred in the past. The swearing-in ceremony marks a significant reinforcement in the ranks of one-stop shop agents. The duty we have been working on, henceforth, we shall double our efforts and make them official. With their solemn commitment to transforming Douala, these 17 agents are set to play a crucial role in shaping the city's future and meeting the urbanization challenges that lie ahead.
Over 50 youths in Cameroon's economic hub, Douala, have enhanced their faith in God. It was an electric atmosphere characterized by songs, dances, worship, musical instrument, playing that the youth closed their training in a specialized booth camp. This gospel concert was organized by youth, as we hear from our reporter, Lato Cynthia.
On stage, the youth are active. They are restoring through a musical concert the knowledge acquired within a month of practical and spiritual training in praise and adoration. The rehearsals were not easy, but since we are working with the grace of God and with the help of the Holy Spirit, He helps us and children could assimilate what they were taught. We want to encourage the children through their instruments to worship and adore Lord. As prone by the promoter of this training camp, the 50 worshippers prayed for eternal glory. I have in my heart the desire to bring everyone to love God. God asked me to be able to walk with the little ones. There is music in the heart of God, and that is why I chose it, because it is a sensitive element. Beyond training on musical instruments, the holiday activity was also a religious school for these youths aged 2 to 17 years old. The parents have expressed pride over their children's accomplishments. Aside from guitar and songs, we have learned many other things. For example, we've been taught how to love God, and to love God is to worship Him and respect Him in all we do. Now, I love others more. I am more social. I have learned that a worshipper should always love God and respect His commandments. A worshipper must always include the Bible in what he does. Train a child according to the path of God, so that when he grows, he does not derail. At the Halalatrio Music, they do not only train children on the fear of God, but also on divine values. One of the things I have noted is that she masters more piano, some things she didn't like before, and she's getting involved in it. I can say the result is wonderful. The 2024 edition of the Halalatrio Music Training Camp was marked in music and songs.
Thank you so much, Lato Cynthia, and that's how we saw it on this edition of the Primetime Newscast, the English language on Canal, the International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is The Brief with Lil Peugeot as for me. Take another rendezvous, same time tomorrow. Good night.